Hi everyone, today I'm sharing my top 5 front-end development tips for OutSystems. These are practical insights that can help you streamline your development process and improve the overall user experience of your applications. Let's dive in. First up, let's talk about using Flexbox and Grid. Flexbox is great for aligning content in one dimension, such as arranging items in a row horizontally. For example, in the first screen, you can see how Flexbox is used to create a mosaic layout. This layout style allows for flexible and responsive arrangements of content blocks, making it ideal for designs that need to adapt to varying content sizes. On the other hand, CSS Grid provides the control and precision needed for complex, two-dimensional layouts. In the second screen, Grid is used to create a magazine layout, which aligns items both vertically and horizontally. This approach is perfect for structured designs where you want to maintain consistent alignment across rows and columns, giving the layout a more organized and editorial feel. Next, let's discuss how to handle the O-S-Block-Widget class. OutSystems automatically adds this class to web blocks, and it uses display inline, which can sometimes interfere with layouts, especially when working with Flexbox or Grid. One common approach is to set it to display contents to remove the wrapper from the layout flow, but this may not be the best solution for every situation. I typically create a custom class like O-S-Block-Widget display contents to apply display contents where it's beneficial, but I also allow flexibility to adjust the display type as needed depending on the layout requirements. Tip 3. Always use links or buttons for clickable elements. This is crucial for accessibility. Links and buttons come with built-in keyboard support and semantics, making them inherently accessible. They also enable standard actions like clicking a link to open it in a new tab, something you won't get with containers or divs. Let's look at this screen as an example. On the left, we see a don't scenario, using a container with an on-click event. Notice how using containers in this way prevents standard browser behaviors like opening in a new tab, and if you place such a container inside a form, pressing enter won't submit the form. This creates a poor user experience, not to mention the accessibility issues that arise when containers are used as links or buttons. On the right, we have a do scenario, using a link or button for the same functionality. Here, you retain all the expected behaviors, accessibility, keyboard navigation, and proper form submission, while also allowing users to open links in new tabs or windows as needed. Remember, you can always style these elements to fit your design while keeping their inherent accessibility and functionality. Fourth, let's talk about disabling list virtualization. By default, list virtualization is enabled and can sometimes cause items to disappear or lead to performance issues, especially when dealing with complex list items. To disable it, you can set the attribute disable virtualization equals true on the list widget. Let's analyze the performance impact with some real-world examples. Here are 2 screenshots, one with list virtualization enabled and the other with it disabled. When list virtualization is enabled, the heap size reduces, indicating that less memory is being used. However, this comes with the downside of increased scripting overhead, as the browser has to manage adding and removing DOM elements dynamically. On the other hand, when list virtualization is disabled, we observe a reduction in scripting activity. This means that while more memory might be used, the browser is not constantly working to manage DOM changes, resulting in smoother performance, especially for complex lists. It's often better to disable virtualization by default to avoid these performance hits. You can always enable it later if you find that memory savings are more critical for your particular use case. Finally, let's talk about responsive design, specifically the difference between the isPhone function and the phone CSS class. This difference can be understood through the lens of imperative versus declarative styles. The isPhone function is an imperative approach. It checks the device type at a specific point in time, but it's not reactive. This means that if the orientation or screen size changes after the page has loaded, the function won't automatically update its result. You would need to refresh the page to get an accurate reading, making it less ideal for truly responsive designs. On the other hand, the .phone CSS class represents a declarative approach. This class is automatically added based on the current screen size and updates reactively as the screen size or orientation changes. This makes the CSS approach a more reliable and dynamic option for responsive designs, ensuring that your layouts adapt fluidly to changes in the user's environment without needing to reload the page. In summary, while the isPhone function can be useful in certain contexts where you need to check the device type at a specific moment, the .phone CSS class is generally the better choice for achieving responsive, adaptive designs that work seamlessly across various screen sizes and orientations. That wraps up my top 5 front-end development tips for OutSystems. I hope these insights help you in your projects. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more development tips.